Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
In the squadron, they called him Bullets, but we call him Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly is on the air
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Wow. You know, being married is ain't easy. I don't know why I'm looking at you. I don't know if I can get it. Well, maybe I can. You're kind of married. Sorry, James. James Flippin, you're married.
I am.
But it's untraditional.
Okay.
Anyway, all right, so I'll who's married back here? Nobody, actually.
Jonas is.
Oh, that's right. He's newly married, and he's very pious, and it's very beautiful, by the way. I'm not right. You know what I mean? I don't know. I got to unload a little bit.
I'm just going to let you talk, because I'm not picking up what you're putting down.
Well, I'm picking up that you're not, well, all right. For a moment, believe it or not, I thought you were not gay. Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that. You've even gone so far as to say that it's a branding strategy to get additional airtime.
That's another thing that I'm not. No, yes, I have hypothesized that, and I got more data, and I ruled it out. But I need a fellow dudes. Not that you're not a dude. You know what I mean. I need another person who's been in my shoes to find out stuff about that. Now, look. Bottom line is this, not the bottom line. You know, I'm not that big into the Epstein case because I agree with President Trump that it's a hoax in many, many ways. And the files and the rest, it's all a plot to.
Can I ask you something about that? Like, do you mean that you don't think, and I'm not saying this like
there's no global child trafficking ring involving Epstein. There's not.
Do you think there is? But that stuff is going on.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, somewhere in like Cambodia or someplace like that. Okay. But it's not, it doesn't.
So do you think Epstein actually didn't do anything wrong?
No, I think he did get, forgive me, a hand job from a 17-year-old in 1998 or something like that. Okay. All right, that's bad. And by the way, that was adjudicated. I mean, in the meantime, we got things 1,000 times worse happening between teachers and students in New Jersey. You read about it every day in the Post, right? Oh, that's just clickbait. It's not global trafficking ring. It's people. It's terrible. It's illegal. It's
for
bad.
You. The key is, I think you don't think that there's some broader plot involving Epstein.
Look, somebody came to me the other day. Oh my God, have you seen the files? Said, yeah, I perused them a little bit. Then I said, I really don't think that this is sex trafficking. And they're like, oh my God, how can you say that? How can you say that? I said, well, tell me, what's the most interesting thing you've seen in the files? Well, I mean, did you read about Bill Gates? Yeah, you mean with his wife? Yeah. And you mean with the Russian prostitutes possibly? Yeah. I mean, what about that? Well, it's gross and, it's tough for Bill Gates, but they're not talking about kids. They're not talking about children. They're talking about regular, run-of-the-mill Russian hookers, of which there are a lot. Sorry, but there are a lot of great a lot of hookers out there.
No, I mean, and that sort of tracks with the whole, the Giants owner who's gotten in some hot water over the fact that he was emailing Epstein about women, but it was like adult potential professionals. Yeah, I mean,
Look, I mean, newsflash, people are looking to get down. All right? Now, it is, so that's not news. Now, it is criminal and horrific if children are targeted and trafficked, all right? But that's not in these files, all right? It's not. And you can tell yourself and make yourself feel morally something special. Oh, it's just not there. And President Trump's right. This was a hoax. And also designed to embarrass him because they can always run that video of, oh, here I am. Here he is with Jeffrey Epstein in 1992. Yeah, it's years before any of this stuff, right? I have found like thousands of headlines trying to implicate Trump in the Epstein files, right? The worst headlines about Epstein involve Trump, even though he didn't do anything wrong. Now, Larry Summers, the university president there at Harvard, or he's going down because he emailed that guy. I'm sorry, man, but that's not against the law. And the reason why more people aren't speaking about it like I am, because they're afraid of being accused of pedo protectors or, hey, you know what I get all the time? Why are you protecting pedophiles? Maybe you're a pedophile. Yep, that's where they go. That's exactly where they go. It rolls off my back. I don't care. I mean, I really don't. You know what I mean? I don't care. I get it every day. Somebody said, do you realize that some people are getting threats based on what you're saying? No, actually, no. They're just saying unpleasant things on Facebook. And you're allowed to do that. People are allowed to say stuff. Welcome to my world. People are allowed to say stuff. All right.
So do you just think that there's like a waste of taxpayer resources in terms of investigating all this stuff? Is that sort of what your objection is? I mean, of course, you mentioned that the Trump attempt to embarrass is something that you're
taxpayer resources. I really don't see things like that. I don't see it through that prism. Like,
so what's the main objection?
Well, let's see. What is my main objection? Mass hysteria. I don't like mass hysteria campaigns that are based on fear and gossip and conjecture. And when we have data, it doesn't support the initial hypothesis, child sex trafficking, but we pretend that somehow it's still newsworthy and of national import, and it's not. Mm-hmm. Now they're grilling Hillary Clinton. I have no regard for Hillary Clinton. I mean, the worst thing she did, along with Barack Obama, is sabotage, try to overthrow the Trump administration. In 2016, that's what they did. In 2017 and beyond, tried to overthrow the government. That's treason. That's traitorous. That's sedition. You name it. They could throw the book at her. But the fact that her husband was hanging around rich guy Jeffrey Epstein and adult women. Look, I know Bill Clinton. I've seen Bill Clinton in action. He doesn't like kids. All right. He likes them buxom and mature and a little on the trashy side. I totally get where he's coming from. No, I mean, guys like you see what he hangs out with, what he hooked up with? Jennifer Flowers, right? Monica Lewinsky. Did Monica have a youthful way? No, she was 2 tons of fun. Right? Kinda? I don't know.
There was some chunkiness there.
All right, so Bill Clinton is not a pedophile. He's not. We've been vetting this guy for 50 years. He's this, he's that, he's the other thing. So, I don't, it just goes on and on and on. The podcasters are out of control.
I think, it's sort of like the whole Israel-Palestine thing. I think that Epstein is a go-to move for content creators. It's like in the algorithm now. People are very invested in the conspiracy. They want and desire more content on that subject all the time. And it's an easy way to make money when you're making those videos online.
Well, true. And, there's enough fascinating, real things to deal with and confront that, hell, we may be going to Iran next week, going to war with Iran next week. And no one's really talking about it. That's okay. We don't really need people to talk about it. We already know about Iran. We've been watching them be terrorist maniacs since 1979. Spreading terrorism all over the world. We can't let them have a nuclear program. I was kind of, how they've been saying, oh, this is the biggest military buildup since 2003? Have you heard that?
I think I have.
Yeah. That's a little bit fake news. That's a little bit also psyops from the Pentagon.
Okay.
I actually briefly fell for it because I thought about it. Wait a second. How many times was I in the Persian Gulf with the Marine Corps? The answer is twice. And when I was there on an aircraft carrier, we weren't the only aircraft carrier. There were like 2 or 3 other aircraft carriers there. Where suddenly we're acting like this is brand new. It's not. It's not. We do this all the time.
It's saber rattling, right?
Very good. Saber rattling. But I just don't like it when, if they fake me out even for a second. why is that Olympic guy playing on the New Jersey Devils already?
The NHL season is ongoing. They pause it every 4 years for the Winter Olympics so that their athletes can participate.
See, in 1980, we didn't have our professionals doing it, right?
That's true.
It was amateurs. Love of the game.
Correct. Like it was top college players.
So it doesn't seem as pure, right? I don't know.
That's fair.
Look, go hockey team. I love America. Glad they won the gold. I just can't believe that I found out that they won the gold like Monday morning. Nobody was following that ahead of time. No one was kind of into it.
Yeah, there were people, but it also, I mean, they played the game Sunday morning. That was kind of random.
Hockey heads. You know, I call them hockey heads. Guys who are really into hockey. That's fine.
Definitely they were, yes. But sports fans, too. General sports fans.
Hey, listen to this. Cops and kids having a beautiful snowball fight. Cut one, please. Cut one.
North Bergen Police Department's out here at 88th Street Park. We challenged some local boys to a snowball fight. We gave them the advantage of height, and we're ready to go. 3, 2, 1, it's on! Yeah, boys!
Lots of fun. They're throwing snowballs at each other in the playground. You hear the laughing. You hear the fun. Here's another one like that. Cut 2.
Leif Erikson Park in Duluth was turned into a winter battleground as a crowd of both young and old took part in a massive snowball fight. One person said the snowball fight was not just about having fun, but also about building a stronger community.
In a world where we're so disconnected, this is a way to connect back with what actually matters, and that's
throwing snowballs at
Looks like
each
some
other.
people even showed up in costumes.
Yeah, I know. A good old-fashioned snowball fight.
Yeah, and you can see a lot of ages there, and like she said, it's people just connecting and having a little fun.
Lots of smiles.
And then we have New York City cops being pelted with ice and brick by hardened criminals, and that dumb mayor. Oh boy, I told you guys, right? I told you guys. Granted, I told you a little bit late, but I did. I got it in there. The guy is crashing and burning before our eyes. It's kind of a treat. We'll be right back, except if you're one of those cops.
Greg Kelly.
Let's go, Brandon.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our country has to offer, especially health care. Across every state, every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return,
but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Hey, it's Sterling K. Brown from the Hulu original series Paradise. The next chapter begins as Xavier's search for his wife takes him above ground, and what he finds will change everything. It was never just about the bunker. Tune in and discover the truth lies outside. Paradise, the official podcast, is now streaming, and stream Paradise on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.
Greg Kelly.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Flippin making a very important point. Very interesting. We'll get back to you on that, all right? Fascinating man, that guy. Somebody tells me Epstein's banking account had the name Baal, B-A-A-L. I never knew you could name a banking account. And Jonas, what is Baal, B-A-A-L? What is it?
It's basically a demon that
that was worshipped in ancient times and currently worshipped today, that people did sacrifices to. You can find in the Old Testament.
Oh, boy. Well, two things. Number one, I never knew that about Baal. I never knew you could name a checking account or banking account or whatever the hell, give it a name. And number three, well, I guess I never knew those things. Number three is it doesn't really make a difference. It's funny. Oh, my gosh, he named his checking account for a demon. I'm looking at right now the hero worship that's going on for the hockey player who just came from the Olympics and the one who had all of his teeth busted out. And they're giving him a standing ovation at NJ Pack, where he plays for the New Jersey Devils. Right? The Devils? I mean, am I going to condemn? Oh, my gosh, I never knew that Baal meant devil, and I never knew that you could. But Jeffrey Epstein, oh, my God, here we go again. And we're saying New Jersey Devils. I don't know. I literally don't know. My head is spinning. Hillary Clinton is now, who's going to have some great insight into this, in addition to what's going on with a potential war next week with Iran. Blaine Holt, the retired U.S. Air Force general. The man has flown basically any aircraft you can think of all over the world. He knows strategy. He knows tactics. He knows philosophy. Welcome back, General Holt. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm at my bug out location, taking a look around, making sure it's in good shape.
You mean you think we might have to go take shelter next week? Is Iran going to hit us?
So let's talk about that. Yes, they could hit us. We've had 4 years of open borders. The cartels in Iran, the IRGC and Hezbollah and Venezuela have worked together for a long time to put terror cells into our country and to have terror training camps in Mexico for the cartels. That's why they're trained well. And so when we sit there and look at the Iranian war, it would be journalistic malpractice to just say, oh, this is the Iran thing. It's not related to anything else. It's the whole ball of wax. The cartels, the money, the laundering, even the stolen black market weapons out of Ukraine found their way into the Jalisco and Sinaloa hands. And so no one should think that foreign wars these days stay foreign. So no matter what the president does, he is weighing risks to us here in our homeland.
So they're telling him about that stuff. I love President Trump. I love everything he's done. He knows about 1 billion times more than I do. And, he knows stuff. He's getting told stuff that we don't know. But one thing I've heard him do a lot, he expresses great confidence and admiration for the military, our military, and these weapon systems we have. We have bombs and missiles and things that can do all kinds of crazy, horrible stuff to the bad guys. You don't even know the power we have. I've seen it before where civilians who haven't served in the military become a little bit too confident in military action, a little bit too confident in what the military can do and believe a little bit too much in the precision. War is messy. Unknown things happen. Do you think there's a danger that President Trump is becoming a little bit too confident in military action? Because, look, every time he's used it so far, it's been a success.
It has, but what we appreciate in the military is that President Trump he's not trying like Jake Sullivan was to be a general or to figure out where to hit something. He's going to the generals and going, look, you're the practitioners of war. If you mess up the war, I'll fire you. But there's another general that he relies on quite heavily, and his name is Scott Bessent. So there's the war behind the war, and that's financial, and it counts, and it's a big deal. So you've got Bessent, who's got his tools to basically lock up wealth for the regime, other regimes, those who would work with them. And it's going to be very, very messy, like you said. and I don't think that the president underappreciates what the risks are, but he knows about the risks here at home as well. So I share your confidence in his leadership with this. And I know that he eschews military operations as the lead in American foreign policy. That's why you've seen these negotiations grind on. But now they've gone to their terminal end.
Well, what would you wait? They have gone to their terminal end? Thank you, James.
Not officially, but if the Ayatollah is like, hey, we'll do anything you want, but we still have to be able to enrich uranium in 3 to 5 years, and we're not going to stop our missile program, and we're going to keep our relationship with Hezbollah and these others. It's no, you slaughtered your people, and you're coming off the table now because if we don't get you now, you're going to remain a clear and present danger to the United States with your terror cells that we well know are here.
All right. Now, look, I'm not going soft. I'm not going weak. I'm not going wishy-washy. I keep hearing, we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. Let's say they have a nuclear weapon. Maybe the line should be, they better not use the nuclear weapon. They better not use the nuclear weapon. I mean, is it worth this hassle? I mean, they may have a nuclear weapon. I mean, isn't it more important? There are lots of countries that have nuclear. Pakistan, North Korea. I mean,
right.
And if you guys dare use it, there will be no more Iran. I mean, isn't that a little bit, that's containment as well. Would that work?
You mean so then they'll all be martyrs and then they'll bring back the 12th Imam and go on and meet their happy reward as the Quran and the Shia sect says they would? This is the problem. You get to irrational actors with nuclear weapons. They're not going to, these people believe that they can do something with them, and they're committed, once they get one, to wipe Israel off the map. And so, entrusting all of our security, both here at home and abroad, to irrational, crazy mullahs in a country that's not even Islamic. The Iranian people themselves, we don't need to hijack their revolution. We just need to help out a little bit. But they're Zoroastrian, they're Christian, they're Buddhist. Very tiny amount of them are really Shia. And so much is made about that. These are Persians. And what the liberation would do is bring back a very grateful Iran that would never think of having such weapons. And it would actually be the centerpiece of the Abraham Accords, which is what the president's ultimate prize is that he's chasing.
Well, all right. Now, hold on. How do we know that's true? I mean, when you start pushing around a country, they can sometimes surprise you. They go very, very national. Nationalism kicks in. I mean, we went into Iraq and there was this fake news out there that they were going to greet us as liberators. That didn't happen. An insurgency, for years. That could happen too. I'm a little bit worried about that. Yeah.
Bremer and Wolfowitz aren't around. We're actually teaching people to tell me what the military campaign ends in. So we're actually studying what the end state looks like. And then if you look at social media, the Iranians have been hand over fist cheering on the Israelis and the Americans to help them with the liberation of Iran. Here's the thing, and this is the caution. We cannot hijack their revolution. We cannot take over. We can't put occupying forces there. We can encourage them. If they have a nasty little secret police target over here, maybe some sort of weaponry by the IRGC, hit it hard. Put the advantage in their hands, and then don't pick their next leader. Let their own Thomas Jeffersons and George Washingtons rise. And then once they do that, put your arm around them, bring them into the world community. But that's very, very different than what we saw in Iraq and Afghanistan.
All right. I hear some people saying, President Trump has to make the case to the American people. I actually disagree with that. I think we all kind of intuitively know, we've known for a long time that Iran is bad, can't have a nuclear weapon. And I think from a communication standpoint, if he starts striking and he comes into the Roosevelt Room and announces it to the country, I think that's kind of okay. I don't know if he has to make the case. Do you think he has to make the case? Don't we already get it?
Yeah, absolutely not. Everybody knows about Iran. Here, if he makes the case or gets in front of the Resolute desk right now, what he's doing is he's saying, hey, America, I know you can't see the intelligence that I get to see, but we should go do this anyway. Then the mainstream media will jump all over that, and they'll twist the narrative, and they'll start creating their own little narratives about what's really going on, and it'll get perverted. So what the president needs to do is stay true to his role as the commander-in-chief. And this isn't just about taking weaponry out of the mullah's hands. This is about protecting us here at home every single day.
Okay, so what are the chances we're dropping bombs on Iran 2 weeks from right now?
I would say that the bombing has already been completed by that time. In fact, I would look for the earliest weapons to be discharged after the close of the markets on Friday. I think anything goes after the close of the markets on Friday.
Wow. All right, and no chance that they could negotiate something, right? That's over.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, everything they've said, the Ayatollah just short-circuited his own negotiations team, so that's the end of it.
Okay, so tomorrow, close of business, we're going to war, although it's an air war, which is a little bit different. All right, one more thing about this. I've heard this a million times. You have too. We're both pilots. But yeah. I've heard that, if you really want to affect change, you can shape the battlefield with planes. But ultimately, to really get done what you want done, you got to send in the troops on the ground. Do you subscribe to that? Is there value and merit in that?
No. How's that worked out for us? Where did we get the Taliban from the 9th century to the 10th century, and it only cost $1 trillion and a lot of lives and limbs? Okay, we don't need to be doing that. What we need to do, we have intelligence operatives on the ground. We know who's in the resistance, and we can work with them. We're not going to take your revolution away from you, and we'll help you with air power. But no, we do not need to see occupying forces because we're not Persians. We should not establish the Persian government. We tried this with our guys from Vietnam to now, and it's never worked.
Okay. Well, you heard it here, folks. We can watch it on TV this weekend, I guess. Boom, bada boom, bada bop, bop, bop.
At the earliest. All
right, wait, one more thing. What are we going to bomb? I mean, we bombed their nuclear last summer. Are we bombing it again? What are we going to bomb?
Yeah, we'll go tag Natanz. They rebuilt the building. Fort Howe, the Pickaxe Mountain, they're goners. But like you said, we're both pilots. That's what makes us cool. And we know that the first thing they'll do is they'll take out the air defense systems. That's helpful. Then we'll actually take out their communications. We don't want them talking to each other. Then we'll hit critical nodes so that they're in disarray and chaos. And then we're going to mop up as many weapon systems as we possibly can. And then if there's leadership targets that the resistance on the ground would prefer that we eliminated with our hardware, then we'll do that. And we'll help out.
And we're going to kill the Ayatollah wherever the hell he is, right? I mean, we know where he is. We're going to kill that guy.
He should have took the deal. We know where he is. He should have took the deal. Dumb idea.
Ayatollah, you had a chance. Oh, boy. Well, amazing. I really feel like we are in the know, everybody. Blaine Holt knows the world, knows the military, knows politics. So appreciate it, sir. Many thanks.
Greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Greg.
You bet. To be continued. 800-8489-222. 800-8489-222. J.D. Vance is speaking in Wisconsin. How about that? He looks very vice presidential. Makes sense. He's vice president. You hear he's having another kid. They're welcoming a new baby, boy or girl, in a couple of months. How about that? Born to a sitting vice president of the United States. What's his future going to be like? You know what I mean? Talk about opportunity. J.D. Vance, very intriguing guy. You think about it. I'm looking at him right now. 4 years ago, he was a guy in the street. 4 years ago, he hadn't been elected to anything. I didn't even think he was a candidate yet for the U.S. Senate. And look at him now. I asked somebody, how did that happen? Smart as hell. And he read everything. He went to seminars. He went to these consortiums. He just performed at the very highest level and inhaled books, inhaled knowledge, and he deserves to be there. So it makes me proud. Actually, I like him. I actually met him over social media. It's true. That's how I met him first. Before he was a senator. Now he's the vice president. Now I can't get him on the phone. No, it's not true. I go through his people now, and that's okay. He's got a lot of responsibility, not just talking to me. We'll be right back.
Greg Kelly
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Shall we check in on J.D.? J.D. Vance speaking right now in Wisconsin.
Ended up cheering for this. Why don't we stop allowing congressmen and congresswomen to get rich off of insider trading? Is that common sense? So again, I've got a seat unlike any other, and the President of the United States, first of all, the whole time the president's given his speech, I was amazed at his self-control because I would not have had it if I was up there with the microphone, because these two women, far-left Democrats, Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, they're sitting next to each other and they're talking loudly the entire time, okay? So there's a point at which I almost look over at him and go like this. But see, this is the thing you can't do when you're sitting behind the president. I would have gotten in trouble for that. Even Derek wouldn't have defended me if I did that, but it's just nails on the chalkboard. They're talking, they're interrupting. The president was completely unfazed by it. But again, you're sitting there, and then the president gets to the point where he says, you know what? We are going to...
Oh, that's a good story. What was it like while Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar were mouthing off like that, yelling, screaming. I guess he wanted to slip President Trump a note. He knows how to do it. These people are crazy, which they are, totally. So, massive story here in New York City. The mayor, so clueless, or maybe he's just that disrespectful. I think he is that disrespectful. He hates cops. He told us he did. He called it a racist, homophobic, transphobic, must be defunded, horrible institution. There can be no doubt that it's racist to its core. This is a man who helped got his name. He made his name by getting arrested by cops. You ever see that picture of him in handcuffs with the cops? And now his true colors are once again coming out. That was a snowball fight? No, it wasn't. It was horrific. Let me see here. Mamdani, there's nothing more than a snowball fight. Are you crazy? Cut 6?
From the videos that I've seen, it looks like a snowball fight. I think that there were 2 officers who were facing lacerations on their face.
All for prosecution of those who pelted them?
Look, I've seen the videos of this snowball fight. I think that it was a snowball fight.
Wow. That was not a snowball fight. That was a damn near terrorist attack. The mob chased them out. The mob. This guy's on the side of the mob. He hates us. He called them, like any other city worker, they responded to the blizzard. Like any other city worker. No. City workers don't respond. Cops, sanitation, fire, uniform services, EMT. Not anybody. Not teachers. They had the day off, actually. They had the day off. Let's see here. Cut 9.
Mr. Mayor, are you willing to revise your statement regarding the snowball fight, given that this was not exactly a friendly back-and-forth snowball fight? The police that were there were not throwing any snowballs. They were getting pelted themselves. And number 2, have you considered or would you consider banning these crowdsourcing events because they can and sometimes do get out of hand?
So I'm not going to be banning snowball fights or organized snowball fights.
Yeah, snowball fights, just snowball fights, snowball fights. Now the commissioner, Jessica Tisch, has released a stern tweet about all this. I don't think she's the real deal. All right, let's see here. Just a couple of weeks ago, she learns from Bratton, Commissioner Bratton. Just trash whatever came before you. Listen to what she says here. Cut 12. This is last month. Cut 12.
To work, the NYPD looked very different than it does today. A crisis of leadership, a department plagued by scandal, a public confidence deeply shaken. That was the reality that we inherited.
Well, she's talking about when she took the job under Eric Adams. But I went back and I thought, what was she saying when Eric Adams was the commissioner a year ago? Well, I found it, and this is what she sounded like. Cut 13, please. Cut 13.
Overall, index crime in 2024 was down under Mayor Adams' leadership, with reductions in 5 of the 7 major crime categories, including murder, robbery, burglary, grand larceny, and auto theft. Major crime in public housing was down 4.5% for the year, and major crime in our transit system was down for the 2nd straight year in 2024, decreasing 5.4% compared to 2023.
Now, I thought it was a crisis of leadership. She just praised the leadership of Eric Adams. What's going on there? These numbers are unverifiable, right? They come from, the police department says it's doing a good job. Just ask the police department. We have no media. We have no columnists anymore. We have a bunch of children down there, literally children. And all they care about, quite frankly, is what's going on in Washington, Trump, the Kardashians, this, that, and the other thing, weirdo LGBTQ crap. No one's holding these people accountable. It's a joke. They can say whatever the hell they want. So this person, Jessica Tisch, I do believe is consumed by ambition. And it's fine to be ambitious, but I think with her, it's unbecoming, right? Say anything, do anything to keep that job. Let's see here. Where's that part where she's, let's try cut 11, if you don't mind, please. Cut 11. No, you can't see this, but she's got this sickening smile on her face, right? As she talks about how well she gets along with Mamdani. and that the city is going to be safer because we get along so well. Well, how much more do we need to see? I think she's throwing her mayoral. If she doesn't resign right now, she can kiss being mayor goodbye, or she just has to go all in on this Mamdani stuff, this anti-cop kind of weirdness. Very strange. Very strange. And only I can really decode this. Only I am willing to decode it. All right? Been a slow build with these cops getting it from the left. Started years ago, Black Lives Matter and the rest. De Blasio ran against the police. Adams ran against the police. Mamdani runs against the police. They all have something in common, though. Jessica Tisch. A big job for Jessica. Tells you something about Jessica, actually. Be right back.
Thanks for listening to The Greg Kelly Show. You can hear The Greg Kelly Show weekdays at 12:15 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode, so you never have to wonder,
what the heck is going on here? Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our country has to offer, especially health care. Across every state, every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.